What's up, everybody? Welcome to the video. Today I want to talk about charisma and likability because I think I finally figured out what it means to be charismatic and likable. And hopefully this will help you at home. But put simply, charisma or likability is describing someone that gets along with other cultures or people of different races, people of different age groups and different classes because they have no resistance. And what does resistance mean? Resistance is, put simply, is whenever you meet someone, most people have preconceived notions, right? Everyone has a certain belief about certain religions or certain peoples or certain people from certain socioeconomic classes. And sometimes we make these automatic beliefs and viewpoints for survival reasons, right? You're walking down the street, you see a group of guys to the left of you, you're going to make an automatic judgment. You're going to look at their proportions, their height, their size, their age, their muscle strength, and you're going to say, okay, I'm going to stay over this on this side, or I'm going to cross the street, I'm going to do whatever. But we use these automatic judgments. You're sitting on a subway train and someone comes on and you kind of get your spidey senses are tingling, right? So we have these automatic subconscious classes that we put people in to make quick judgments for survival reasons, for simplicity, things of that sort. Now, the danger in all things, right, is a lot of people have resistance towards people of other cultures, right? Some people, the poor sometimes have resistance for the rich, right? Some people that grow up in inner cities have resistance for police, right? Police officers may have resistance for certain characters that they see. Doctors or lawyers, or everyone has certain resistance. Now, the person that is charismatic treats every person the same way, right? So the person that's charismatic doesn't see a rich person and treat them better because they're rich, or doesn't see a poor person and treat them worse because they're poor. They still take the same amount of time to inquire about their lives, and a person can feel it. It's all energetic. So someone that's charismatic has no resistance. They're not scared of you when you meet them, right? They take you at face value, and they almost forget all their prejudgments. They give you a fair shake. I was talking to a friend of mine, and he was talking about how some people, let's just take a person that grew up wealthy, right? They may see a poor person and say, man, this person's lazy, or this person's poor, this person is, not using their talents or whatever. And because of that belief system, they might start to change their behavior subconsciously, right? They may be shorter with them. They may not offer them the same advice or feedback that they would to a rich person, right? So they'll warm up to a rich person, but they turn dark or they turn cold towards a poor person. A charismatic person treats you the same. It's almost like people that are charismatic, they forget all those preconceived notions that we exist on or that we use as mental shortcuts. So put simply, a charismatic person is someone that has no resistance. He's a blank slate when he meets you, right? And you can feel that, and it's all energetic. And they don't jump into these judgments. And honestly, charisma or likability is actually one of the best skills, the best traits that you can have, really meeting people as an open blank, because then you're not judging them and you can actually take in what they say. Right? When you don't judge someone, you see them as face value. So you can see the good, the bad, you can see the complexities to the human character, the human personality. Now, one thing that is a little contradicting that I'm going to say is that in terms of like likability or being liked, if you do try to make people like you, you're actually being controlled by that person, right? You have to understand that if there is 8 billion people on earth, there's 8 billion perceptions, right? In your friend circle and all the people that you've met, let's say you met 1,000 people in your life, there's 1,000 different perceptions of you. And people's perceptions are based on where they're at, what they were going through, how they perceive someone that presents like you, and things of that sort. So there's 1,000 different perceptions. And a lot of us go through our life trying to make others like us, right? Trying to be likable, trying to change our behavior so that the other person sees us in a certain way. But that other person can only perceive you in a way that they've been trained to perceive you, right? So in trying to make someone like you, you're actually being controlled by them. Now you're going to do everything to be likable, everything that you may think in your mind for them to like you, where you're really just working for them. You're being controlled by them. So it's actually like a subtle form of control that I don't think many of us noticed, but I think I realized it this week. And I've been alive for I don't know how many years. All my 20s, I've never noticed it until this week. So trying to be liked by others is actually putting yourself in prison. You're enslaving yourself because you're trying to meet an expectation that you may never meet. So that's charisma, that's likability, and that's the secret of the control that we put ourselves under when we try to be liked by others. I was also told, I think I heard this in a podcast or something, but if you really knew what people said about you or people thought about you, you would hide in your cover, you'd never come out. So people have these crazy perceptions. You can't control someone's perception. You can only control your perception of others. And it's actually kind of crazy because it's almost a little controlling on our part to even want to be liked, because now we're trying to control someone's influence on us. So it's multifaceted, and it's kind of complex, right? But it's really subtle. You have to really see beneath the surface to observe this and acknowledge it. But yeah, offer no resistance towards others, and that's the way to be charismatic. But that's also the way to see the other person as yourself and get a complete understanding of people. And that's also how people open up to you. There's like a TikTok craze that says we listen, we don't judge. And honestly, if you listen and you have no opinions about what you're listening to, you don't make judgments about good or bad, you just listen, kind of like an open book, you learn a ton about people and you learn a ton about yourself. So with that being said, that's the key to charisma, having no resistance. And I hope that video helped you. Have a good day.